Hello, Samantha.
Hey Tom, how you going?
I'm very good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to Sydney. You've been here for a little while now. How's it treating
It
you?
has. Yeah, I'm loving it. I've never felt like a place is like just as much as it's meant to be as what this place is. I'm loving the people. I'm loving the pace. It's so much faster than what Sunshine Coast was, which I'm absolutely loving as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd say the Sunshine Coast is probably the polar opposite for pace, isn't it? Really, I've got some friends who live up there, which I think you know, and that's one of the things they've struggled to circumnavigate actually. Okay, well, listen, welcome to Sydney. I'd see you got your nice winter jacket on as well.
I'm I'm actually like I'm in a hotel just visiting a friend at the moment. But I have been so cold. This is what I bought on the first day I was here. Is this massive jacket. So
That's right. Reminds me of Narnia. It's
yeah. Yeah.
take that the right way. I'm not saying you're the Wicked Witch or anything. So anyway, listen. First things first. Thank you very much for joining me today and giving us some of your time for eventually for everybody else who ends up watching this later down the line. We're always grateful and appreciative of people's time. Okay. I do need to state up front that it's very little to do with me. So you want to try and shut me up as much as possible, please. And you do all the talking and talk about your specialist topic yourself, effectively, yourself, your journey, where you're going, what you've done, and so forth. Okay. Now, is it Samantha J, Samantha Brunskill, or Samantha J Brunskill?
It's a good question. Well, my full name is Samantha Jane Brunskill, but my brand is Samantha J. Yeah.
Okay. If that's the case, I know you a little bit now. Okay.
Yeah.
For those that don't know you whatsoever, please tell us who is Samantha J.
Who is Samantha J? Well, I started as an entrepreneur at 14 years old. So I've been an entrepreneur, like the first inkling of that for me started when I was 14 years old. So been doing entrepreneurship for 16 years. I'm a 6 times best-selling author. I'm a medicine woman, a soulful speaker, and I'm on this mission to really help millennials more than anything to really build purposeful and profitable empires so that they can solve some of the world's most pressing challenges that we face right now. As a generation, millennials, we have this pocket of time to truly grow our influence and to truly start to disrupt the way that we've been doing business, to think in a more humanitarian way so that we can circulate our income to problems like climate change and eradicating abuse and these other different problems that the world faces at the moment. So I'm a spokesperson really trying to advocate that change.
Okay, I love that. You got the right jacket for climate change, that's for sure. um, okay, all right. There's a little bit of humour in there. So I resonate with the 14-year-old Samantha J. Okay, so when I remember my personal story when I grew up in quite difficult circumstances. Sometimes I share, sometimes I don't, but it's not Tom's show today, it's the Samantha J show. But where things were not ideal, I become an entrepreneur. Okay, so these little pressure points and what have you, and always wanted better for everyone else around me, including myself. And that started me, being in business at a very young age. So that's why I resonate with that. And I want to strip this back just a little bit further. So, because we fast forwarded a little bit into where you go, what you do, which is fantastic. We're touching that in a bit. I want to know who that Samantha was when you were 14 and what got that started and what did that look like?
She was a bit of a rebel. More than anything, she was like a rebel. She was highly independent. She didn't I think that at that age, I saw other people living life on society's rules. This is who you need to be a successful man, woman. At home, it didn't ever feel safe, secure, stable. I didn't I was growing up on a farm, little Wagga Wagga in New South Wales, if you're familiar with that. So I didn't like the idea of the drought's going to come, something's going to come, it's going to take away the financial stability for my family's farm. So I never liked that idea. I didn't like how that felt. I didn't like the feeling of, even when I grew up, I didn't like the feeling of not having enough money to buy the clothes I wanted to wear. I was like, Mom, I want to wear this, I've always cared about my clothing. No, we don't have, Dad doesn't have enough. I was like, you know what? I am going to, at 14 years old, I'm going to work in a bakery. I'm going to work 20 hours a week. And I literally worked 20 hours a week so I could at that point go to Supre, buy any clothes I wanted, because clothes made me feel something, and other things that I cared about then. So I didn't like the feeling of not being able to have freedom in what I bought, in how I dressed, and how I lived my life. That's very much how I was then. Yeah.
I think that rebel, I reckon that sort of your term that when you described where you're going and what have you, you talked about disruptor, which is sometimes thrown around a bit too loosely. But knowing you, I stand by that's an accurate description. But it seems that your rebels evolved into being a disruptor later in life. So it's never really gone away. You just learned a few things on as part of the journey.
Yes, that's right. I think if you feel like you don't fit in, or you feel like you're rebelling against something, maybe that's because you're here to innovate. So the rebel, anchored in wisdom, is the pioneer and the innovator. And that's what I've learned from it.
Okay, all right. So let's go straight back again then. So with your story to starting business and what have you isn't too dissimilar to mine, just the other side of the world. And I was on a farm. Okay, but we wanted nice things for those around us and for ourselves. So our motivations is greed. Actually, that is greed. That's what that is. Okay, but what made you move into the types of business that you went into? What picked your flavor? Where did it then evolve? Because if you look about it as an employment, where people pick a job that they think's best suited to them, they're going to be happy doing, they're going to excel in, and what have you. Business is identical in that respect. You pick. Yes, we all want good things, but the vehicle we choose to orchestrate that has to align with what our interests are.
For sure. For me, I've always loved speed. I don't like doing things on I've always just loved speed. So, just traditionally, I was like, look, being in this role, being in this manager's position, I'm not going to get the life I want at the speed I want. So I always was like, I started at 14. I created my clothing and accessories. I imported jewelry for 30 cents. I sold it for $30. That type of speed of profit I cared about. I felt like I'm going to get to where I want to be and so for me, it was all about how I was going to make people feel. Back then, it started at 14, just wanting people to feel really confident in their self-expression and to stand out and be themselves. And then by the time I was 19 years old, I took over my family's property development company. And it was because of people. I saw this paper clipping, and it was like the forgotten suburb. And so I saw myself in that suburb, in that group of people. And at that point, I couldn't really get out of bed. I was having mental health challenges and all the things. So I think when you really deeply care about a group of people, then when you stand for them, and then it can really bring out your best self. And that's what I did then. And then we stood for creating property developments that gave people a sense of belonging. Yes, it was about purpose, and yes, it was about profit. But I just, to be honest, like always inside of me has been this instinctual self that's been guiding my life. And I've just always had enough rebel in me to trust it. Most people think, fuck, I'm going to be like, hopefully we can be swearing on this. But most people think I'm going to be crazy. I'm going to be crazy if I'm different to others. I'm going to be crazy if I choose the unconventional path. I'm going to be crazy to price it at that, to think I can do this in this amount of time. However, I've had enough rebel inside of me, to follow it. And then in time, I realized the more that I followed it, the more actually my life turned out better. The less I follow that rebel, the more my life has to get really tough and bad for me to take, to be aware of it and take attention to what it's calling me towards. So
we haven't spoken for some time, and I've just remembered why I like speaking with you is because every time I speak with you, I end up with 5 or 6 questions, and we could just keep talking forever. I don't know how much time we have. We might go for a few seasons. So I hope you've got a couple of other jackets there. But I keep putting on, making a mental note, bring that up, it can go on. It just keeps expanding. So yes, it's definitely my pleasure so far. So, all right, let's take a little benchmark here. Okay, let's forget the past. We're not talking about the future. We're talking about the present, right here, right now. Okay, and it's not a canned answer. Okay, this isn't a prepped answer. I'm just asking Samantha J, right now, what is your why?
My why is to live a life with no regrets. I know inside of me who I can become in all areas of my life, and I don't want to feel like I didn't become that. That I don't want to go to my deathbed with a regret. That's like on a personal level, it's on a movement level, it's on an impact level. I have a very clear vision of who I am at the end of my life, and I'm surrounded by these African children, and I see that. I know me. I can see me, and that vision of that woman, of how I feel in my heart, knowing I did everything. That's truly like what guides me. The idea of the opposite of that, of feeling like, I've actually felt that way. I wasn't brave enough for so many years, and I remember feeling the opposite of that and having depression and different things and feeling like there was this potential in me. And I'm like, oh, why doesn't my outside world, why isn't it congruent to who I know myself to be inside? And I was like, I was in this waiting energy. I was waiting for more of the right circumstances. And so I felt that enough for a short period of time that I said to myself, I'll never allow myself to feel that again. So that's genuinely what guides me now. Yeah.
Okay. And just out of curiosity, if I had asked you that question, say 2 years ago, would that have been relatively the same answer, or has it evolved a little?
No. 2 years ago, I was like, oh, it'll just happen when it happens, That's when I was in that energy, right? Oh, it'll just happen. If it's meant to be, it'll just be. God's going to deliver it on this nice little golden platter for me. I didn't realize how much push, how much action, how much you got to move every single day, to create actually what's meant for you.
So it's interesting. So if it's changed that much in 2 years, which goes in the blink of an eye, in my opinion, what would it be in 2 years' time? How much that would have changed. That I think that's quite exciting itself. Thank you for sharing that. That's interesting. Okay, there was a nice segue into our next question, which we've got a section in this community. Okay, I know you're new to the community, yet to have a perusal, and I hope you do. You can promote yourself, events that are coming up. You can do shorts. You can help people. There's lots of little things you can do here. It's all in a safe space. Okay. One of the things that we have here, which is still early days, but every speaker that we've had in here so far has posted in there, so you can't escape it, unfortunately. I don't know if I told you that up front, but we've got an accountability space. We've got an accountability space, and you can use it for whatever you want to have out there for relative strangers to hold you accountable to. Okay, personal, business, whatever. It's really whatever you're comfortable with, being out there, but it's for that transparency, everything that you understand accountability to be. Okay, this is video evidence of it. Okay, but this when you started to talk, you mentioned vision, which I understand. Okay, but you visualized your vision. You sort of put yourself there. You pictured this happening, that's happening, this is what I've achieved. I'm at the precipice. I've ticked every box and some. Okay. Now that's forward thinking. This is what we want in that accountability space. So if you were to hold yourself accountable to that vision, what would that be to share? And also what you'd have comfortable enough to have in that particular second part?
Yes. It's that we've helped 100 million coaches to build purposeful and profitable empires, and we've helped them to align their business model to purpose and profit. And we're just launching the world's first luxury business coaching app, which will give us that scalability to be able to do that. So that's what I hold myself accountable to that standard every day. So that's what I would like to do.
I love that. I do love your vision. Is that your visualization though? You started talking earlier when you talked about African kids, I think if I heard correctly, and something happened. And there's something else going on. So what's that look like?
Yes. So for every person who we help with their business, we help a female African entrepreneur get access. We also help with access to fresh drinking water and saving a little girl caught in child sex trafficking to get closer to home. So the vision is that purpose, me there watching all of that unfold. I know, though, the way to it is the profitability of helping 100 million businesses. So it's a little bit like that Mexican restaurant out there that's like plate for plate. For us, it's when you invest in our main core program, that's the impact that we deliver.
Okay. There's the nice thing, as with any community, it's about the people you surround yourself with. The very first one of these interviews there is with a gentleman called Nas, a lovely guy. He's from the United Nations. Okay. He's got the biggest platform in Africa for helping entrepreneurs realize their dreams. That's
oh my goodness.
Flexi Africa is what it's called. Really nice guy. Almost all for charity. Almost every part of his business goes out just for the purpose. He only takes a tiny bit himself. But I'll be happy to, he's in here, so you can message him. But I can also do the introduction on top of that as well. Actually, be quite nice for it to come through the platform, to actually serve its purpose. So, okay, you can listen to his video as well. It'd be if you scroll all the way down, it's the very first one, and you can get a feel of it maybe before you reach out.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, that shows you the value of a community like this, the network. Yeah.
Yeah, and good memory as well. That I remember what people told me. Okay, all right. Okay, so that's like pretty much the end of this. Okay, all right. However, I do want people will listen to this in downtime. It's evergreen. It's only going to get bigger. Hopefully, people will come into the community, and that's how this grows and how it works. We want people to know what they should be reaching out to you for. Okay, and these people can be anywhere worldwide, all different circumstances, different agendas, different things they want to improve on, because it's just investing themselves. That's unique. Okay, so it'd be really nice for you to explain why people should reach out to you, and essentially maybe what your business does, maybe some core things that people can understand that part of you. Okay, as besides to anybody else on these interviews.
For sure. I think that I've got 3 different solo best-selling books. The first one, these 3 different solo best-selling books really outline the journey that I help coaches, personal brands with to grow their businesses from 6, 7, and 8 figures. The very start of that journey is about helping people to overcome imposter syndrome, stand in their value, and actually stop burning out in their business. Because often if we have imposter, we don't stand in our value, ultimately what happens is we have a business where we don't have the profitability. So I help people overcome that first. The second part then is in my next book, Build Your Empire from the Inside Out. So I help you to actually see yourself, change your own self-concept, so that when you change your own self-concept, you can actually see the highest timeline of your life. So with my Medicine Woman gifts, I can look at the different timelines, the different potentials that exist around a different person, and I help them to see who do you need to be? What do you need to do in order to have a different wealth timeline, or to attract the soulmate that you want, or to become more fulfilled in all areas of your life? And I upgrade their identity, break through their fears and limiting beliefs. And then in my next book, Illuminator, it really goes into the business strategy of how we actually make that happen over about 1 to 3 years. It starts with first you being in that luxury identity. Then I help you have a luxury offer. So think about whatever you're doing right now, selling it for 25K, 50K, 100K, up to even $1 million offer strategy. When you have that higher profitability, it enables you to be able to then get back 10 to 25 hours of your time in your first 30 to 90 days. With that time, then we start scaling the company more on your terms. So mass market business models, every area of your life declines. Your business feels like a trap. You're unfulfilled. You're unhappy. Whereas a luxury business model, because of that higher profitability and that time and freedom, you actually get to design the journey, and every area of your life becomes fulfilled along the way. So there's some of the themes I help people through.
Okay, fantastic. I think there's plenty of people in the community who already know that probably want to reach out to you. So hopefully when they do listen to this, they will do exactly that. And, whatever comes of it, comes of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's me. I've got nothing else in me. I know I said earlier we can probably talk forever, but we keep trying to keep some uniformity with these. Maybe we'll talk more a bit later anyway. I'm sure we need to catch up today in Sydney. But thanks again for your time. And you've got the license to wrap us up on an antidote.
Oh, an antidote. Like a quote, or is that?
Up to you. You can have a quote. You can have a Samantha J thought. You can, however you want to sign us off. It's better than a full stop, isn't it?
It is. I love that. Have more fun. Yeah, take yourself less seriously. Have more fun. I think the more fun we have, the more money, the more impact, the more everything comes from that. So just have more fun.
Yeah, that's more fun's definitely better than a full stop. So brilliant. I love that. Thanks, Samantha. Stay warm, and I will speak to you soon.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye bye.
Bye.